Hi guys, Scott Woodward with you to talk about the Cronulla Sharks NRL 2015. And look, last year they only averaged 14 points per game, and clearly that's just not enough. As a matter of fact, they need to get around 22 if they hope to be winning the premiership. So they've got a long way to go. So what's different from last year to what we have this year? Certainly the main difference has been Vave is into the side, and he certainly is capable of creating points and scoring points. But it's largely the same team aside from that. We have a change of hooker. Michael Ennis comes in and he'll give them leadership and stability and will stiffen up the defence in the middle, but he certainly won't create any tries. That's not his cup of tea. And if anything, they drop back a little bit there than the attack that they had from 9 in previous years. But look, this side has still got an outstanding world-class forward pack. It is their major strength. We're talking about Gagan, Graham, Tupou, Lewis, Fifita. Andrew Fifita certainly could be the best prop in the game, and that's a big statement given some of the quality props that we have. He's not that at the moment because he's got a lot of mistakes in him, and he's very injury prone, gives a lot of penalties away. But if ever he gets his act together, he's certainly got the most God-given skill of any of the props. It's just a matter of him putting it together over 80 minutes and contributing to his team's final result. But when they all get it together, it's an outstanding side. It's quite a good bench. It's not a sensational bench, but it's quite a good bench. I'd sort of written Chris Huntington off, but he was outstanding in the 9s. I thought his trial form has been outstanding. Jason Bakuya is solid. David Fifita has been trialling well. A young gun called Houma, Houma. I think we'll be hearing plenty of him. I like what I've seen of him so far. And then we've got guys like Matt Pryor and Mitch Brown, who I haven't got a high opinion of, and I don't think will create a lot to add to the score. Junior Rocker is also there. Will come in for some time off the bench, I would think. But look, I think one of the main things that the coach is going to have to contend with through the year is who is going to be his fullback. At the moment, Gordon is the fullback and he is the goal kicker. He's an outstanding goal kicker, and he certainly will be the starting fullback. Whether or not he holds that position for the entire year remains to be seen. He's certainly got a young kid called Valentine Holmes who will be breathing down his neck, and he certainly will be the long-term fullback for this Cronulla Sharks outfit. I think he's an outstanding prospect. I'd like to see him start on the wing at the start of the year and gradually get some time at fullback when Gordon goes off or gets injured or he just takes over for him because he's a better player. But he can certainly, he's very special, Valentine Holmes. He has been for many years in the juniors, and he gets his chance now, and it's sort of something what the Sharks have needed. And as good a player as what Gordon is, and as solid a player as what he is, the fact of the matter is the Sharks don't score many points. They don't score many tries, and the fullback is a big part of creating points and scoring points for any team. So it doesn't matter how you put it, Valentine Holmes has got that extra thrust, he's got that extra speed, and I think he's got the X factor that this side needs. So he's a must for me to be fullback at some stage. Unfortunately, the other young gun that they've got, New Brown, has been injured, and we probably won't see him for the season. When he comes back, he's the guy who I'd like to see go into the halves and partner with Ben Barber when Jeff Robson is ready to go. Jeff Robson will hold down the number 7 spot, and he is only a borderline first grader. He's a solid halfback, a handy defender, quite a good tactical kicker, but he's just an ordinary player, which is certainly not good enough when you're playing halfback. And I'd like to see New Brown come in and be Barber's partner. I think that would be an exciting combination for the Sharks. The biggest problem for the Sharks is no different to what they've had in previous years. They don't have a genuine top-class organiser. They're going to rely on Jeff Robson, and I've just spoken about him. The other thing they don't have is a very solid back line that doesn't leak defence. And the back line looks much of a muchness as it has done in previous years, as far as I'm concerned. We've got Ricky Latelli and Gerard Beau will probably be the 2 centres, and they're both handy centres. They're both poor defenders. I think there'll be a problem there. I would like to see their big buy that they stole off St George, Jack Bird. what an outstanding prospect he is, and he trialled outstandingly for the Sharks, and there's no question that he will come into first grade at some stage, and when he does, he'll be there for a long, long while. Jack Bird, write that name down, you'll be hearing plenty of him. We might have lost a Bird through the week, but we're going to get another one coming, I think, pretty soon. Blake Ashford is also on the list. I haven't got a regard for him. He's been there, done that, let us down many, many times. So, look, I wouldn't be holding too much weight in Jack Bird coming on. So, look, there it is. Like, I think there's going to be a tussle between Gordon and Holmes for the fullback spot at some stage. I'm looking forward to seeing how Ben Barber takes control of this side. I think he's going to have to take more of an organising role than what he had in the past. I really liked what he did when he was at the Broncos at 6. I really think he's a fullback, but he's starting to learn the 6 and he's starting to be comfortable at it. The extra defence is not good for him because he's not a good defender, and while he's quite strong, he's not a big guy, and some of those big forwards can tend to get over the top of him. So look, as far as the future is concerned for this season, for the Sharks, I think a lot of it's going to depend on Andrew Fifita, and if he stays fit and if he can play all the games. A lot of it's going to depend on Paul Gallen, if he stays out of trouble, if he's able to play a lot of minutes, if Origin stuffs him up again. I think if we can get good minutes and out of Fifita and Gallen, I'm sure that the Sharks will be a factor in the season for 2015. I don't think that I'm yet to see that they can score enough points so that I can actually have them in my top 8. So I've got them out of my 8. In fact, I've got them finishing 14th. I know that there's a lot of people that I talk to think they're complete morals to be in the 8. They look at the forward pack and they can say they have to be in the 8. And it's hard to argue against that. It is an outstanding forward pack. But there's more to rugby league than just an outstanding forward pack. I think they lack depth on the bench, and I think they lack depth in the backs, and I think they don't have a genuine organiser. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think they'll finish 14th. The coach, I rate 6.5 out of 10. I think he's quite capable of being higher than that, but I have been disappointed with some of his selections and some of the things that he's done. He's put a lot of weight on Jeff Robson, which is not something that I would have done. I would have been looking for a top-class halfback, and I think that's been holding the Sharks back in the last couple of years. So, having said that, I think he's improved this team out of sight since he took over from Ricky Stewart, and there's no question that he's had a big input into the recruitment, and I think a lot of the recruiting that he's done has been very, very good. Having said that, they have lost a lot of promising young kids that I would have liked to see him hang on to. But they have the makings of a good side. It's not a young side, but there is some good young kids in the side. And I think when they get rid of some of the old blood like Gordon and like Robson, and even guys like Tupou, and let me say, this team I think will go a lot better without Paul Gallen. And as good a player as what Paul Gallen is, he's such a type of player that he demands the ball all the time when quite often there's something on out wide and somebody else can get it. And I'd like to see guys like Wade Graham or Luke Lewis get the ball and do something with the ball rather than Paul Gallen screaming for it and hitting the ball up all the time and killing the play. So as high a profile as what Paul Gallen is and the captain of the New South Wales Blues, I think this team goes better without him in the side. So I don't think it'll be a loss when he retires. So there it is for me. The Sharks to finish 13th for me, but I won't be surprised if they do better. Good luck if you're a Sharks supporter.